Alright, so I had a few messages in my inbox. They pretty much asked me how did I how did I do this wallpaper right. They want to know you know the layer system, like how did I achieve the glowy look or whatever, and this little kind of like neon looking thing. You know what I mean? This right here, because I do have a lot of layers like all built up and stuff, and you know, it's a combination of like, you know, what do you call it, like gray merges and soft lights and whatever opacities. So what I'm gonna do today is try to recreate this, but with less layers. You know what I mean? Less of this right here you see on the left. You know, more of a simplified version. And also another question was if it can be used in font. I guess they like the way it looked, and they want to, you know, make a little banner, but they want their font to look like this. So I'm gonna just basically type out the word GIMP and try to recreate this glowy effect or whatever. Anyways, let's go to File, New. That's fine. This is my default canvas size that I prefer. If you're still using the smaller GIMP default canvas size, I do recommend you make it a little bit bigger, because it's kind of, I don't know, you get more detail with a bigger canvas. Let's go to make a new transparent layer. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we are going to need to make a transparent layer, but first, this background layer, this white layer, let's change this to a green color, I guess, like so. And with this transparent layer right here, let's grab our circular ellipse tool or whatever you want to call it, and you know, pull from the top left to the bottom right, and then go to select, invert, to invert the selection, then select feather. And I usually feather about 1,000 for my canvas size. Depending on how big your canvas size is, it'll be smaller or bigger. So with this feathered edge around here, I like to make the edges a little bit darker, but instead of using black, I'm going to use maybe like a darker, like a dark blue, like a midnight blue or something, maybe a little bit, almost near black, like so. There we go. Okay, now select none. Let's grab our text tool right here. Well, let's make a transparent layer first. Now, with your text tool, just, you know, drag it out, and go ahead and type out the word or whatever word you want to use. I'm going to type GIMP. All right, and you can't see it. I am using GIMP 2.8, so if you want to make the font bigger and change the font, you have to highlight the font first. So type out what you need to type out, then highlight it, then go ahead and upsize it, you know, right here. There we go. Let me zoom back out if I can. There we go. Alright. And also, I don't want that font. I'm going to change to a different one. So maybe like Evolution, I think is one I have. There we go. That's a nice font. I'll use that one, but I'm going to make it a little bit more bigger. That's fine. Alright, now I got to move the font, or basically I need to center the font. But because the outer border is not, you know, cropped properly, I can't center the font that I want. You know, I can't align the font properly with the borders being so wide as they are. So we're going to have to go to a layer, auto crop layer. Now the layer is cropped down. I go to my alignment tool, which is right here. Go to the toolbox, click back in here, then just click these two boxes, and that should align it. But now I need to reset my borders, my border limits, I guess, these little white dots. So right click on the text layer, layer to image size, and that'll take care of the problem. Now let's go ahead and right click on the text layer again, alpha to selection, duplicate it, and I'm going to make this duplicated layer white. Now I'm going to duplicate it 2 more times. Alright. Now the uppermost layer, I'm going to shrink it down. Maybe select shrink about, oh, that's way too much. Maybe like 40 for me. That's about right. Now select, invert. I'm going to feather it just a little bit. Not that much, of course. Maybe like, oh no. Come on. about maybe 3 pixels. And now just hit the delete key. And basically what I did, I know you can't see it, but let me uncheck these little eyeballs. I cut out the outer portion. I shrank it, I inverted the image, then I just removed the outer border of that white layer. So select none. Alright, so the middle white layer, which is this right here, let's go ahead and recheck the eyeball. And let's go to, right click on it, go alpha to selection. Then go to select shrink. And this time shrink it by probably 2 pixels. There you go. And just hit the delete key. Now I just made a nice little 2 pixel border. Select none. Re-enable the eyeball on top if you want, and the lower eyeball, which is this right here, the full white layer that we haven't tampered with just yet. So before we get any further, this the lower text layer, the original text layer, the darker layer, this right here. Let's go ahead and blur that. Filters, blur, Gaussian blur. And we're going to blur it about, let's see, you can't see it, can you? I'm going to blur it maybe about 80 to a 90. Press OK. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and move this layer down just a little bit. So let's go to our move tool right here. Make sure in your toolbox that it's move active layer. Then click inside of here. Then with your arrow keys, just move the bottom shadow layer around a little bit where you feel it's proper. That's about right. Alright, now that shadow layer we just moved, right? We're going to go ahead and duplicate it one time. Now it's really dark, right? Now on the full white layer, which is this layer right here, this right here, alpha to selection, then go back down here to one of the duplicated blurred shadow layers and just hit the delete key. Now select none. So basically what I did was I have 2 shadow layers. The bottommost shadow layer, which is this one, is the full shadow layer. The upper one that I duplicated and cut the center out is basically, you know, how I said it, you know, there's no center to the shadow. So to show you what I mean, let me uncheck this eyeball right here. So here's the original shadow layer, right? Then here's the one that I cut out. See what I mean? So that's kind of the trick right there. You need to have, well, for me, to make it simple, you know, just have 2 shadow layers with one cut out in the middle, and that'll help with the glow effect. But anyways, so you got these 2 layers going on. Your main white layer, which is this, set that to a grain merge. There you go. Now your lower, your bottommost shadow layer, the full shadow layer, you can either set that to a soft light, like so. As you can see, it's starting to brighten up a little bit, or you can just lower down the opacity. So I'm going to set that to normal for now and lower down the opacity just a little bit, not too much, about right there. You know what, I'm going to set that to a soft light, just like I had it before, just for now. There we go. Alright, now your layer with the small border, this right here, you can leave that alone if you want, but you know, you can just set that to a soft light as well. Where are you at? Soft light. There we go. That's fine. Then your uppermost layer, which is this is where you got to do some blurring. So let's go to our filters. Let's go filters, blur, Gaussian blur, and no, that's way too much. We're gonna blur it maybe about 8. Real simple. There we go. Now you have that nice kind of bright look going on. Now what you could do is duplicate it one more time, then blur it again one more time. Repeat Gaussian blur. And then set that to a soft light. Right, set that to a soft light, and the layer below that you can just lower that down, the opacity. Kind of gives you some control over the brightness and the width of it, I guess. All right. All right. So now, on the layer that we cut the shadow out of, as you can see, because we multiplied the layer, the outer portion of the shadow is really dark, and that was the whole point of it. So you can have like a brighter inside but a darker outside. So you can kind of, if you wanted to, you can lower down the opacity if you want, like so. Or your main shadow layer, you can lower that down too if you wanted to, like so. Make that brighter. So you'd see how you have all the control over your lights with just the shadows. See what I mean? So you have the inner shadow being taken out. You know what I mean? It's because you taking out the shadow of the center of it, you can, you know, adjust the brightness of the middle. I don't know. It's really hard for me to explain this, but hopefully you guys can understand what I'm doing. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's add a pattern. Let's make a new transparent layer. Right. Let's put this transparent layer in between the that vignette that I made, this little dark border, this right here, and the background, which is that right there. All right, and go to your patterns, and let's grab this. Let's try this right here. Let's drag that in. There we go. That pattern's really, you know, really dark. Let's lower the opacity on that one. And probably set that to a soft light as well. Alright. And there you kind of have it. It's similar to what I made before. Hopefully that kind of explains it a little bit. If the center's too bright, you can always, you know, lower down the grain merge layer a little bit. See what I mean? Like so. Also, like I demonstrated in the video before, you can change colors. You know what I mean? You don't have to use green. You can use something else, like a lighter blue, I guess, baby blue. Like so. See what I mean? So, anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Hopefully that explained it. I know I had a hard time explaining it right now because it's kind of tricky. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys.